Good evening, this is the Oscar expert here with Brother Bro, and it's time for more Oscar predictions. This time we're predicting lead acting categories. It's April, it's early, but this is what we do.
I would say acting categories are maybe easier to predict than Best Picture. So I feel like some people in the beginning of the year, you're like, yeah, that's going to happen, and then that just happens.
Number one. Are you okay with that being number one, or you want something else?
I don't really care what order you have these top three in because I think they're all going to get nominated.
For 2 and 3, I think that they could go down if the movie's down, but I don't think that would happen with Coleman Domingo.
That's fair, actually, yeah. Yeah, because Rustin, director of Ma Rainey, it just seems like the acting would be great even if the movie is whatever. I don't know why the movie wouldn't be good.
I think this is going to be like a big performance.
If Coleman Domingo is nominated, I was like, oh, he's on track to get a supporting nomination one of these days. No, like now he's in a lead, and I wanted to see him in a lead for a while now, a really juicy, meaty lead role. And so this would be an amazing first nomination to get.
Yeah, he's playing civil rights activist, real person. It's a biopic. I mean, it's got everything you need to put him in your top 3.
And he just delivers, like, he's always better than he should be in every single role. So I don't know how he wouldn't be amazing in this.
And then Hugh Jackman in The Son. We can expect that unless the movie somehow sucks, that Florian Zeller is going to deliver once again. He did The Father. I mean, the performances in that movie were off the charts. And Hugh Jackman, I mean, he is a ferocious actor. Some people are predicting this for a win. I can see it. I mean, he's going to be great in it. And
yeah, he's going to do like a prisoner's like grieving yelling thing. I don't know if he's grieving in the movie.
I don't think he's grieving. He's just like dealing with family and his son.
Yeah, but we know he has it. We know he's got it.
Yeah.
And he would definitely deliver. He's probably going to do some great work in this movie.
Brendan Fraser for The Whale. I mean, you gotta know.
How can you deny?
You can't deny.
How can you deny like this, just imagine this comes out at the festivals. Is there a universe where we're not buzzing about his performance in the film? Like, even if people are mixing the movie, who's not going to be buzzing on it? There's so much goodwill for his comeback in Hollywood. I mean, Aronofsky, you remember The Wrestler? That was a comeback from Mickey Rourke. It was an amazing role for him. He almost won an Oscar for that.
Yeah, we've had 3 lead actors nominated for Aronofsky films.
I think he's going to pour his heart out. I really do. Of these 3 movies, they're all Best Picture contenders because they're high up in the actor. That's how I think about it. And whoever's winning, if Brandon Fraser has buzz to win for The Whale, then I would put The Whale in my Best Picture predictions. It ain't that hard. That's how my simple brain works.
Yeah, I do think that this is going to be kind of like The Wrestler. It's not a movie that Aronofsky wrote, so it's not going to be some pie Requiem for a Dream, Black Swan crazy shit. Mm-hmm. It's going to be a tender drama. And like you said, everyone's like rooting for Brendan Fraser. He's having a moment. The Brendan Fraser songs, it's reminding me of the McConaissance. Leonardo DiCaprio, Killers of the Flower Moon. I mean, the only thing that would make me hesitant about putting him here is that we know that Jesse Plemons and Leonardo DiCaprio are said to have very equal parts in terms of their screen time, says writer Eric Roth.
But even if that's true, they're going to put DiCaprio in lead if they have to choose.
You also think, what if they go for campaigning them both in lead? And there have not been 2 actors both nominated in lead in decades. And that used to be something that happened every few years. Those days are done. Those days are done because the studio goes, well, we'll just throw them in supporting. And, they can win Oscars off that, like Alicia Vikander. You can have a bigger role and still be in supporting.
Yeah, and they're definitely not afraid to nominate multiple people in supporting.
One thing going for him is that he's the bigger name. He's the bigger star. And the second is that I think his performance might be more showy. I think Jesse Plemons going to have a lot to do. I think he's going to be amazing. But he is playing the FBI agent. So what I'm imagining is that it's a little more tempered.
Yeah, and I mean, just think about the roles that they generally get. I mean, if this is like their previous work, DiCaprio, there's got to be a moment when he screams his head off, and Plemons is very reserved, and that's just the kind of roles they've been given.
They actually swapped. Do you know that? They were originally scheduled to have each other's roles, and then they all decided to switch.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I'll be interested after I watch the movie to see what I think about that.
Number 5, you want this in a little bit more than me, Christian Bale and Canterbury Glass. I'm kind of worried if the movie
I'm happy to put something else in, but I just don't know what else I would put in over it.
Yeah, I just think if the movie is not quite there for Best Picture, I don't know if he can stay in anyway. I mean, maybe.
Depends what he does. It depends how much. I don't think he's transforming that much.
It's one of his skinny roles.
Can't really deny that it's Christian Bale and a David O. Russell movie. That's hard to leave out.
Viggo Mortensen, 13 Lives. I was considering having him in the 5. I really was. I said, you know, if Vigo, when he's in Oscar bait shit, he just happens. I don't know who's lead and supporting in this movie exactly, or if there will be like a definitive strong lead character, but I kind of think maybe this is more like Christian Bale in Ford v Ferrari, where maybe he gets close, maybe it kind of makes sense, but they just don't do it at the end of the day. It's a little bit more about the movie overall and the spectacle. Daniel Jimenez Cacho in Bardo.
Iñárritu gets actors nominated.
I know.
Iñárritu does.
Yeah, that's the thing is, you know, you have Beautiful, 21 Grams, Birdman, Revenant, everything he's done that's not his first movie has gotten acting nominations. Babel got 2 actors nominated. So if this movie's big, and, you know, I might have it in my 10, I don't know. It's not a bad bet. In the United States, I don't think a lot of people know him, but I don't think that would stop him if he's really fucking good in this movie. 8 is Diego Calva in Babylon. This is going to be the breakout role for the actor, and he is the lead. That has been confirmed with test screenings. The script exists, and he's the lead role, not Brad Pitt. And I think it will be a less showy role than Margot Robbie and Brad Pitt. I think it's possible that he could sit it out as the rest of the cast and crew gets like all these awards. Or maybe they'll bring him along for the ride. It could go either way.
His co-star is Brad Pitt. And so sometimes, you know, newcomers just have a harder time generating that Oscar narrative unless they're like owning the film. So even though I definitely think Babylon will get stuff, I don't know if he'll be in. Michael Fassbender in Next Goal Wins. Gonna be a fun performance, screaming his head off. I guess we're like losing a little bit of confidence in that movie. It could be a very comedic performance.
I just don't know like how much faith people have in it. And that's starting to...
Yeah, because sometimes we're like, where's this movie? Where's this movie? And then it actually doesn't happen.
If the movie gets in, I feel like he would get nominated probably.
Remember Don't Look Up? It was like no actors got nominated for that despite the cast. And even though it got nominated for Best Picture.
Adam Driver for White Noise. I mean, he's going to kill it. Adam Driver always knocks it out of the park, and he's leading a Noah Baumbach movie once again. Marriage Story was a delicious, amazing performance from him, and I think that he's going to have a very complex, meaty role here.
Yeah, White Noise doesn't strike me as Oscar bait for some reason. As I'm more hesitant about saying he's like, I wouldn't put him in the top 5.
Just because we're less confident about the movie. But if the movie is big, I mean, I think he would have to go along with it, right? Jesse Plemons, Killers of the Flower Moon. I have him in lead right now because that is possible that they co-campaign them. I think Channing Tatum was co-campaign lead in Foxcatcher, but they were just like, that's not going to happen.
That's true.
It'd be unfortunate if Jesse Plemons got kind of pushed aside for Leonardo DiCaprio, and they're like, there's no way we're getting 2 lead actors in, but it would be such fraud to put him in supporting that we can't. But maybe they'll just fraud him anyway. I'm not sure what they'll do. Michael Fassbender for The Killer. This is the David Fincher film where Michael Fassbender is playing an assassin who's very morally conflicted. I feel like that's maybe a little bit more of a Daniel Craig Girl with the Dragon tattoo type role.
It's the kind of role where he could be great in it, and we look back and say that's a great performance, but it just doesn't, like, awards just don't happen for it.
Austin Butler for Elvis. This is definitely a breakout role for this actor, but I guess you can't underestimate the musical biopic. This is going to screen at Cannes, so we'll see then. I have a hunch that it's probably not going to be the most critically acclaimed thing out there. And I don't know if his buzz is going to be able to last throughout the year because this movie comes out in the summer. Paul Giamatti in The Holdovers. This is Paul Giamatti in the new Alexander Payne movie. What a reunion. They haven't worked together since Sideways. I wasn't positive if it was coming out, but I think it probably is.
Is it in your predictions now?
It's somewhere, but there's a little controversy around Alexander Payne's behavior. Paul Giamatti is very overdue for a lead acting nomination. I mean, American Splendor and Sideways, like, it's insane that he didn't get nominated for either of those movies. Like, are you kidding me? But this one right now, to me, is kind of just a question mark, so I'm not sure what to do with it. Joaquin Phoenix in Disappointment Boulevard. This is the new Ari Aster film. It's apparently a decade-spanning portrait of an entrepreneur, so maybe this one's a little more character study. And I don't know the extent to which this is a horror movie, but it is said to be one. I mean, Joaquin Phoenix will kill it. Obviously, if Toni Collette couldn't get nominated for Hereditary and you couldn't nominate Florence Pugh for Midsommar, then this is probably not going to happen unless this movie is different enough that they can package it as an awards movie. And they are trying to premiere at a festival, possibly Venice, maybe Cannes. So maybe that could transform the buzz a little bit. Eddie Redmayne in The Good Nurse. Eddie Redmayne's playing a serial killer doctor who's just killing his patients. And this one actually has a good director and it's going to Netflix. So it's a good movie. Like, I don't think we can underestimate him. It's Thomas Lindholm. He did A War and a Hijacking, co-wrote Another Round, and The Hunt.
I think Eddie Redmayne is a really talented actor.
Yeah, I think he gets a little too much hate.
Yeah, I do. Maybe one day he'll do an A24 movie and people will he'll curry everybody's favor. Zac Efron in The Greatest Beer Run Ever, not gonna happen. Sorry.
You can say that, but I'm still gonna put him on here just in case.
No, he wouldn't get nominated. There would be a supporting actor in that movie, but Zac Efron wouldn't be nominated.
You're kind of right, but I don't know. Sometimes things are weird. Bill Nighy and Living. This sort of has buzz like by default out of Sundance, even though I feel like the movie is just a little slight feeling, and I don't know if he needs to be nominated. He is maybe one of the best.
I don't buy it. I think it's Clifton Collins Jr. and Jockey.
Yep, that's what I'm gonna say. I think it's Clifton Collins
for
Jr.
most of the movie.
Jockey.
He's very good, but he's like,
I don't like things very much. I don't want to go to work today. I like my life the way it is.
He's really good in the movie though, but that's what you're getting.
Yeah.
Like it's and Living is not a movie I don't think many people are gonna be excited about.
Tom Hanks in A Man Called Otto. This is the Man Called Ove remake. I don't think this is gonna happen. The original story is said to be like a very charming crowd pleaser. So who knows if they
charming Tom Hanks, like unless you're playing Mr. Rogers, I don't buy it as an Oscar nominated role. Charming Tom Hanks is Tom Hanks. He's Tom Hanks playing Tom Hanks.
Well, hi, little boy. I'm Tom Hanks.
I don't sound
I
like
think
Tom
he's
Hanks.
bitter, actually. I think he's
Hanks.
actually not charming. I think he's a little bit of a bitter guy. I don't know if that's what A Man Called Ove is.
Yeah, sure. I don't know. If it goes to TIFF, I'll be like,
okay.
That's
what I'm saying. He can charm TIFF off, and it's the director of Finding Neverland. It's Mark Forster. Michael Ward in Empire of Light. I do think that this is possibly going to be a lead role, if not the lead, opposite Olivia Colman.
But he's a young actor, and he's kind of a newcomer, so... I don't know, even if you're in an Oscar-nominated film like 1917, just hard to get like you off the ground and get you nominated.
Song Kang-ho for Broker. I don't really think this is happening, especially, we saw a poster to that film today, and he looks like he's having a great time in it. He's taking a cruise. It's just, there was a 6 on the release date that signified June. That could be just Korea, and, in the United States, maybe we go fall. This is like a huge if the new Hirokazu Koreeda movie is an awards movie, which is not likely, but I guess it's possible, and we like Song Kang-ho, so we can have him on. All right, Best Actress territory. Margot Robbie, Babylon. The early screening said that she's the fucking front runner, and I read parts of the script, like, her character is a crazy actress character, like, very eccentric, manic personality, lots of ranting, lots of monologues, lots of cursing.
Sounds like the whole thing is an Oscar clip.
She's like at the point in her career where that makes sense. She's 2 nominations deep. She's going to be a 3rd.
I thought she was amazing in I, Tonya. Even just a few reactions like that, I'm going to take it seriously. It just sounds like that's a winning conversation performance, okay? Danielle Deadwyler in Till, playing Emmett Till's grieving mother,
trying to fight.
I think it's gonna be the kind of movie that when it premieres at TIFF or whatever, hopefully it'll go to TIFF or something, people are gonna be like, if you don't nominate Danielle Deadwyler, I will go on strike, I will starve myself, I will cut off my own head if she's not nominated on Oscar morning. I feel like she's gonna be fucking insane. And there was also a tweet from someone who worked on the film saying, like, you're not ready for this. You're not ready for what she's doing in this film. We saw that she has so much potential in The Harder They Fall. That you could tell that she was bringing so much to that role. Imagine what she could do.
I just wonder maybe if this is like more of a critics thing where she deserves the nomination, but it doesn't actually happen. I mean, Alfre Woodard and Clemency had the same fate. I think it's probably more of a high awards profile than that film. Same director. What if she's like a Delroy Lindo? Is all I can say. Like, she deserves it.
Because it might be like too much of an indie movie. That's kind of
or like it's a little bit of like a slow burn, and I mean it's probably going to be kind of a downer.
Is that because Clemency was a slow burn and a downer?
Yeah, but also because of the subject matter. I mean, it would be definitely unfair to criticize it for being that, because literally what the story is.
But I feel like that would have a lot of support from critics.
Oh, I think she's going to have a lot of support. I think it's going to be a big role. You wanted me to put her at 2. I had her at 5, but I did it for you. I think that maybe, at best she could be in the winning conversation. Why not? Number 3 is Michelle Yeoh in Everything Everywhere All at Once. I just become more and more convinced every day that this movie's getting like 7 Oscar nominations and possibly winning some. The idea that this movie could could win Best Picture, it has crossed my mind. Like, I'm just gonna say that
because of the sheer amount of people who are like, that's my favorite movie. Those people, you think they're gonna shut up at the end of the year? I just talked to my friend and his fucking mom loved it. Okay, you got the moms on the side. That's a big deal.
Like, the movie might win screenplay. I'm just saying it's gonna be big. Michelle Yeoh has an amazing narrative here. An amazing narrative. Been in kung fu movies in the 90s, and then Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon wasn't nominated. There was like an interview where she choked up talking about how this was finally the role that she could prove to everybody that she can be funny and real and like a great actress, and that's exactly what this role is.
She utilized all of her talents from her past career. Like, it doesn't seem that there could have been another actress on the fucking planet who could have done this role. Who else has this background with martial arts training and stuff? You're gonna use it all in this film. It really gets, I think, everything great out of her. And I feel the passion for the movie is so strong. I don't think 100% if the movie gets nominated, she goes along with it, but I think it's very likely. If there's not like severe competition, I think she gets in.
She'd also be like pretty much the first East Asian actress like nominated for Best Actress. I'm pretty sure that would be nearly the first or the first. Naomi Aki in I Want to Dance with Somebody. She's playing Whitney Houston. This is the movie, you know, in the trend of musical biopics that are named after one of the most popular songs. We saw with Bohemian Rhapsody, it worked.
Respect, it didn't quite work, but it did get a SAG nomination for lead actress.
Andrew Day got nominated for Billie Holiday, and that wasn't even a good movie.
Judy, you know, not named after a song, but, you know, singing, Bait, Tears.
Rocket Man didn't happen either. Respect, Rocket Man didn't happen.
Very close,
but those
though.
were early in the year. This movie's plopping down in December. And also it's Anthony McCartan, who wrote Bohemian Rhapsody, Theory of Everything, Darkest Hour, Two Popes. All of those had leading acting nominations.
That's pretty insane.
She is a very safe bet, even though I didn't recognize her name before finding out about this role. The Oscars love it when you sing. I mean, Chastain won last year. She sang a little bit too. And we have Olivia Colman in Empire of Light. If Olivia Colman gets nominated for this movie, which seems like, sure, of course she can, that would be 4 times in the most recent 5 years. Like, that is insane.
It's like an apology. Sorry, we didn't realize that you were Meryl Streep until late in your career, so we're going to nominate you for everything you're in from until you die.
This is Sam Mendes. It's a huge Oscar bait film all around. Possible Best Picture player and cinematography and all that fun stuff. Very little known on what exactly she's doing in here, but, like, it doesn't matter. She got nominated for Lost Daughter, so it like she can do anything. She'll be amazing and she'll get nominated. That's how it works.
And we got Viola Davis in The Woman King. Kind of surprising that Viola Davis is not in a top 5 because, you know, normally my brain would go, Viola Davis, lead actress in a movie, that's getting nominated. But I don't know how much confidence I have in this film.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of want to have her in the top 5 because I think it's definitely a decent bet. I mean, it's Viola Davis. Even if the movie's not good, I don't really have a good reason for keeping her off. I just like the top 6. She's going to be nuts. I mean, there's pictures of the movie. It's going to be a great performance. Again, Carey Mulligan and She Said. I have a feeling that this is going to happen, but I like my top 5 too much to move stuff around. She Said maybe I should have more confidence in for Best Picture. I had that at like 13 in our predictions. Maybe it's higher now. She is playing a New York Times reporter, one of 2 who broke the Harvey Weinstein stories. She's just going to be good in another movie. And it's Carey Mulligan. Regina King and Shirley. It really seems like a role that she could get nominated for. Best Actress looks competitive. She's playing Shirley Chisholm, who's the first Black Congresswoman in America. Takes place in, I think, the 70s. What do you need to know? Like, it's Regina King. Lead role, biopic. I mean, we might as well have her in the top 5, too. And it's being directed by John Ridley, who wrote 12 Years a Slave, won an Oscar for doing that.
I don't have quite as much confidence in this film as an Oscar player as the other ones, is my rationale.
I guess if you look at what John Ridley directed, none of his directing work so far seems like it's gotten very close to Academy Awards stuff, but...
Not that it couldn't happen, but...
Yeah, I mean, this film's got the whole package. It's got the Netflix package, so this could definitely happen. And we have Cate Blanchett for Tar. You know, we're denying Cate Blanchett a nomination for a biopic where she's playing a composer. And this is also directed by Todd Field, and he did In the Bedroom, which got 3 acting nominations, and Little Children, which got 2 acting nominations. So,
but he hasn't been around for a while. We don't know what he's going to pull out.
It's going to be good, I think. And, I mean, Cate Blanchett's going to be good. It's going to be good stuff. Definitely think she's a top 10 contender. And then Laura Dern for The Sun.
Is she not supporting?
I think Vanessa Kirby, I have a feeling that she's the stronger supporting role. I don't know if they would like co-campaign them or if they would say Laura Dern's lead, but I think that Hugh Jackman and the titular son are going to be the biggest characters in the movie. So I don't know where that leaves Laura Dern. That's kind of why she's a little lower. And I also just suspect maybe it's Hugh Jackman, Vanessa Kirby. Those are the acting plays. Florence Pugh in Don't Worry Darling. There's no good sense on whether or not the movie is like a huge hit, but I am hearing buzz that Florence Pugh knocks it out of the park in this one. And if it was a Best Picture movie, she would probably get nominated with it. Emma Stone in Poor Things. Emma Stone is playing a woman whose brain is changed with a baby brain. So I don't know if that means she's going to be acting stupid and funny.
They're changing the name of the movie to Brain Swap.
This is Yorgos Lanthimos. It's going to be weird. Will it be like The Favorite and be an awards hit? I mean, it is the writer of The Favorite. It's possible. And if that movie gets nominated for picture, she could definitely come along for the ride.
It's going to be a little silly, though.
Possibly silly. I don't know. I don't think it's like a straight comedy. I mean, it's based on a book that is apparently pretty good. It has like serious themes and all that, as books do. Then we have Griselda Siciliani for Bardo. I don't think the world knew who Adriana Barraza and Rinko Kikuchi were before Babel, but they got nominated. And I don't think that the world knew who Yalitza Aparicio and Marina de Tavira were before they got nominated for Roma. So who's to say this couldn't happen?
We got Jessica Chastain for The Good Nurse. This is more likely than Eddie Redmayne.
Well, he's playing the serial killer.
Very happy she won her Oscar last year, but I don't know about seeing another nomination following that soon.
Jennifer Lawrence, Red, White, and Water. My confidence in this movie's quality just kind of dwindles as we hear more about reshoots and as there's like really not a peep about the movie. And it's A24. I'm sure she'll be really good in it, but I don't know if I have that high awards hopes right now. Tong Wei in Decision to Leave. This might also be supporting. I am not sure. I think she's the second biggest character though. If there is another like directing international nominee that comes out of Cannes like there was for the past 4 years, then I guess my bet might be on Park Chan-wook for Decision to Leave. Maybe that movie's really good. Maybe it's a actual Oscar contender, we don't know. So I don't know, I just have her here in case that's a thing. Helen Mirren is playing Golda Meir, who is the Israeli Prime Minister. A photo has come out and Helen Mirren is caked in makeup. Now, you might think, Helen Mirren in a biopic caked in makeup, why isn't this higher? And I'm going to answer your question right now. Number one, there's controversy already that she's in Jew face. That's not great.
Oh, yikesy.
Number two, it's Bleecker Street. That's the bigger problem here. It's like a very small budget thing. And we know how Bleecker Street run campaign. Okay, there are other pictures where Helen Mirren looks like Tim Robinson in the suit in I Think You Should Leave. Like, what is it? Like, what is this?
Who's the director, bitch?
The director did the Oscar-winning short film Skin, which was kind of hated, but also won the Oscar.
It could be a makeup player, though. It could definitely be a makeup player.
Maybe, yeah. Sally Hawkins in The Lost King. Don't know much about this one, but it's Stephen Frears. Got to keep an eye out on it, I think. Jennifer Saunders for Alleluia. Judi Dench is in this one, so I don't know if that's just a reason to have the movie on your radar. That's why it's on my radar. Ana de Armas is not happening, but people will beg me to address it, so I'm going to address it. It's not happening. The movie's going to be weird. We already talked about this in the predictions video. It's going to be controversial.
Netflix is ashamed already.
Yep, they don't want it. They were like, you did not give us an Oscar bait movie. Why didn't you give us an Oscar bait movie, Andrew Dominique? And he said, I wanted to make a weird-ass NC-17 art film. And we had her at number one like last year. So already embarrassed.
Tell me why I have a strong feeling that Blonde is going to Venice. I think the place that it needs to be is like Venice or Cannes.
Totally agree. It needs to premiere in Europe. Because they're more cool with like controversial weird shit.
Yeah, they're gonna want to see like an edgy fucking movie. There's gonna be some critics who are like slapping 100 on it, but I think it's gonna be so weighed down by negative reviews that like the Metascore will be low, but it will be very enticing and I will still want to see it. I will probably still see it.
And those are our lead actor and actress predictions for April of 2022.
We are doing supporting actor predictions very soon.
Thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing.
What kind of a leader are you?